Yo, 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 what's up, everyone? Apologies for being late. I just got back home, set up the live as fast as I could. Bit tired, a bit tired. But I didn't want to keep you waiting any longer. Let me just do this quickly. I hope that everyone is well, by the way, as always, and had a fantastic weekend. So, bro, I'm out of breath. Where is it? Do we have anyone in the live chat, by the way, that could confirm if we are indeed live and that everything is well? Jean-Pierre, hello. I hope you well, brother. Had a fantastic weekend. Thank you for being here. Always appreciate your presence. So give me a couple of seconds. I'm here, of course. Okay, that's good. And we should be fine. So, I think we've waited long enough. It's already 8:15 for me. Just again, 15 minutes later than usual, not a big problem, but I always like to be on time. So with that said, as always, we will start very quickly with the announcements, the weekly recap, of course, and then dive into today's price action. So for the announcement, very simple as always. If you want to trade with a 30% fee discount on Bitunix, this is a lifetime deal, no cash, no nothing. It's just a flat 30% fee discount. You can sign up with our link, which will be down in the description of the live stream. And of course, if you want to get access to our imbalance indicator, which of course allows me to take these very nice trades, the link will also be available down in the description. Bro, I'm sorry guys, I'm a bit, I literally just got back home. So with that said, of course, now let's do the weekly recap. To understand this one very quickly, we'll have to go over to last week, which is when Bitcoin was at $105,000 and I was looking for my short position up here, if this can load. So I was looking for a short position up here at $105,000 as outlined exactly in this YouTube update. Had a first target of $102,000, but eventually, of course, we dropped much lower. I was in my short position, which I am still holding until today. So not much has changed for me. I was mainly short and chill this week. We did also do one update where I said that as long as you remain below $94,000, which was this area, there was no point in chasing the long positions. Now with that said, I did actually open two long positions. The first one was a small loss, which was basically on the idea that we would find a bottom during Tuesday's Asian session. That does happen quite often. If you look at major highs and lows, they do tend to happen sometimes either on Monday night or Tuesday Asian session. Okay, this is something very important to study. So I was looking for a potential low on Asian session. We got a decent drop, a sweep of the low. We had an imbalance on the 30 minutes chart, so I took my long position, which turned into a small loss. And then the second long position was this one. We had two imbalances, a very nice bounce, two imbalances. You took out this mini range low. I took my long position. We had a very nice a very nice bounce. So I was in this long and already put my stop loss to entry, but then price came back down and stopped me out. After this, for the rest of the week, for me, it wasn't much to do, mainly just wanted to remain short and chill. So not much to recap there. Don't want to waste too much time on this because, as mentioned, we didn't do too much. So with that said, what can we expect now? We are seeing a nice bounce going into Sunday. I mean, Sunday is pretty much almost over, but we are getting a nice bounce over the weekend. Is this a good bounce? Is this another false bounce? This is what we want to talk about. So before we cover everything, we have two things to mention. Two very important things. The first one, which will be two things in itself, is that we have a daily imbalance right at the low, as you can see. And then if we go over to Binance, we have a weekly imbalance down here. So this in itself already tells me that the downtrend could be, at least the local downtrend could be close to done. I will outline my full view on this, by the way, of course. But this local downtrend could be done. and we might be ready for a bit of consolidation. The second thing is that we are of course heading into a major low which everyone is looking at $74,000. I did talk about this in the Discord on Friday, and that is that usually when you have a major low that everyone is looking at because it's pretty much the only low of this entire uptrend, so every single person that is trading Bitcoin is looking at this low. And when this happens and the trend wants to continue far below this low, okay, so to the downside, you will get two things. You will either put in some sort of a double bottom, so let's say maybe $78,000, and then get a bit of a bounce. You get a lot of people bullish, think that this low will hold. Double bottom, they open longs on the uptrend, but then what happens is that you get a reversal to the downside. Second option is that you get an SFP, also offers nice bounce, but then ultimately price will come back down. So I can give you some examples on this happening in the past for you to fully understand what I mean. We can take this low, of course, the low of this week. So many people were looking at it. Guess what happened? You come down below it, you offer a false deviation. Remember, on this bounce, I was very bearish. I gave you 1 and 2 short positions. Guess what happened? Since everyone is looking at this low, you get a fake bounce, make a lot of people believe that was a failed auction below the low. Once again, fake bounce, but then price continues to the downside. We can go in the past. I will give you maybe 2 more examples. Look at the previous bear market that we had. Oh, come on. So if you look at this previous bear market, exact same thing. You have 2 major lows. You have this one, and then you have this one. Look what happened on this first low. You get a massive drop. You get a double bottom. Price goes sideways, but ultimately continues to the downside. Same thing right there. Not a perfect double bottom, but to me the logic is the exact same thing. You drop, you put in some sort of a double bottom, again not the best, but then you go sideways, ultimately come back down and take out this low. So for myself, we have the daily imbalance, we have the weekly imbalance, we have the major low. We have a lot of reasons, at least for me, to expect price to go sideways. Okay, so maybe put in some sort of range like this before continuing to the downside. So before I cover the plan, this will be my logic behind this plan. We are reaching a major low. Let's go back in time to today. We have a major low that every single person is aware of. So right now, it would make sense, in my opinion, to go sideways in the chart for a bit, maybe until the end of the year before continuing lower, because of course overall for myself, I'm expecting lower prices. Just need a bit of water. So that would be the logic behind my plan. Okay, guys, now we can remove this, First thing to note is that this is a weekend bounce, not a good bounce. And 2, we have a wickless daily candle. Guess when the last wickless daily candle was? Well, we talked about it on YouTube, actually in the Discord. It was up there. Guess what happened? Price came up, took out that wickless daily, and then reversed to the downside. So already by looking at this bounce on the daily chart, I can tell that this is not a very good bounce. Overall, I would still look for at least 1 more low to be put in. So my plan here, I guess I can remove this. Let's remove this. I don't need this anymore. I can remove this. I mean, I want to keep it for myself as a kind of journal thing. Can keep these 2 levels, and we can remove this. So overall, what I would like to see, let me look at this. An hour. Yeah, I think front channeling this high would be very good. Front channeling this high for now. You can see we have 2 early imbalances up here. Let's go over to Binance. 3, ooh, that's a lot, Okay, so I think we are ready for a potential reversal soon. ideally before taking out that high, leave these imbalances low for a future recovery. So we have the local plan, not resistance, but a level that I would not like to get tapped. To the downside, what do we have? Do we have a weekly down there? We don't. How about finance? We don't. But I will take the open of this weekly candle, even though it's not an imbalance on the 3-day. Oh, that's an imbalance. That's very good. But did it get filled to the dollar? Not to the dollar. Okay, so that's nice, actually, in my opinion. And on the daily, okay, that would be my area. Yeah, I think I like this. I don't mind this at all. Let's take this low. $78,300. So we have the high time frame plan, which is that we potentially go sideways. We have the levels above and below. So to me, what I would like to see this week is that we top out here. Let's put it time aligned. So let's search for a low, potentially Tuesday Asian session, since we just talked about this. Could be Monday night as well. But let's take it at like 7, 6. Okay. So ideally, let price top out here. Come down tomorrow. Oh, that's too quick, man. Tomorrow, bit of sideways, drop, offer a low, and then come back up. I think that's what I would look for this week. The low could happen on Friday as well. I would not mind a Friday low, but I think Tuesday for me makes the most sense. It's a big enough drop that Monday doesn't make sense, so Tuesday makes more sense. If it's not Tuesday, it's gonna be Friday, probably Thursday, Friday, but I would like a bottom to be put in on Tuesday. That would be me. And then from there, we can form a higher time frame plan if you guys are interested in this. 99. Look, this level still looks very nice in my opinion. $99,000. You kind of bounce, you front on $100,000, and then you come back down. But that's a higher time frame plan. We could draw it out if anyone is interested. So after this, maybe chop around the lows a bit more, come back up towards the end of the year. Let me draw this better. Boom, boom, and then reverse to the downside. I think that's what I would look for, guys. Intermediate bottom, ideally above that low, send it up, crunch on $100,000, fill the 12-hour imbalance. No, it was a daily imbalance, my bad. So fill the daily imbalance, leave this one unfilled potentially, and then come back down. And then, of course, if 99 gets broken, I would still look at 102. For now, I can hide this level, and that would be my plan. That would be my plan. Yup. So if anyone has any questions, of course, you can send them in the live chat. What about 102K? Well, I just talked about it. If you break 99, then yes, 102K is possible. But I know it's a bit too early to say, but my opinion would be that like a fake out above $100,000 would be a bit of an easy short. However, if you front on $100,000 by $500, I don't think a lot of people will expect this. Of course, it doesn't mean that it will happen. It's just my personal hunch. Just my personal hunch. Okay, so one last thing I have to say about Bitcoin. If we do indeed drop, ideally, if we get a 12-hour imbalance or another daily imbalance, then I will consider fully closing my short position. Okay, I will consider fully closing this, because if we do get a big bounce, I just don't think there's a reason for me to just hold that short, give back a lot of profits, and then maybe average down. I would prefer to just fully close it, potentially flip long, and then look for a new short position on the pump. That's kind of my bias right now. But then, of course, if we get something different, you know, the job doesn't look too fearful, let's say we don't have a lot of imbalances, then I don't have to close my short. Okay, guys, I hope that's easy enough for you to follow. I think that's a very good plan in my opinion. It's probably time to go sideways. We can also cover the Elliott waves if you guys are interested in this. If you guys want me to cover the Elliott wave, let me know in the live chat. But I do believe that the Elliott wave count also kind of aligns with a bounce soon. I do believe that it does. So if you guys want me to cover the Elliott waves, let me know. If it would be Monday, wait, if it would be Monday today, would you short here? Well, overall, I just think it's too low to open a short position. Like, yes, even though locally we have the hourly imbalances on the higher time frames, we have a daily imbalance down there and we have a weekly imbalance on Binance. So locally, I mean, you could look for a short, but for myself, I'm a bit more of a swing trader. You just drop so much, why look for short positions down here? Like, I don't know. For a day trade, maybe yes, but I hope you're kind of getting at what I'm trying to say. Just too overextended to the downside to start to look for short positions now, even though we are bouncing to the upside. Just my preference. Great plan, thank you. Yes, Elliott waves, please. Okay, let's cover the Elliott waves. That's my chart for the Elliott waves. Well, we topped out much earlier, but well, we did call this stop, so not a big problem. Remove all of this. Take now the count makes much more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is an ending diagonal, right? So this would be your count, ending diagonal, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that looks very nice. So now for the count on this drop, okay, what I'm looking at, of course, is if this will become a bigger correction, which I am kind of expecting, what do we have every single time on Bitcoin? Can go back in time. We could look at a complex, but at least you have A, B, C. Okay, in this case, it could be W, X, Y, X, Z, but you can see you always have a drop, a B wave, or in this case, once again, it can be an X wave, but A, B, C. Previous bear market, exact same thing. You have a wave A, a wave B, a wave C. So the way that I'm looking at this count right now is kind of the same thing. This would be wave A, which would mean that this needs to be a 5-wave count. Okay, so wave A, wave B, and then you move down in a wave C. Or potentially, like the last market, W, X, Y, X, Z. Doesn't really matter. What did I do? Okay. So if you focus on this A wave, to me, it is pretty obvious that we had 1, 2, this is potentially a wave 3, or maybe one more low for the wave 3. But anyways, it doesn't matter, because if this is true, then at least one more low is coming. This would be wave 3, 4, 5. This 5-wave move would complete the wave A. So then you bounce in a wave B, in a 3-wave move. Okay, and then you come back down in a wave C in a 5-wave move. So if you focus on this local count, the 5-wave move to the downside, once again, we have two options in my opinion, which is why I'm saying that we need one more low. Either this is 1, 2, the wave 3 is complete, this bounce potentially is forming a wave 4, and then we come back down in a wave 5, which means that only one more low is needed, okay? Only one more low is needed, which would fit very well with the idea of a higher low being put in. But the second option that I'm looking at is that we have 1, 2. So if I remove this, we have 1, 2, but that's another 1, 2. Okay. in which case this is the first 3, 4, 5, but then we need another 4 and 5 to complete 2, 3. This wave 4 would be a bit larger, and then a wave 5, which would give you 2 more lows to come instead of 1. In any case, it's not too important to know which one is correct, because if this one is correct, then anyway you can open a long position, okay, because you will bounce in a wave 4. But then if the other one is correct, then this long position would mean would turn into a bigger one, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whichever count is correct, anyways, this week, if we drop and we make another low, it would be somewhat logical, not somewhat, it would be logical to look for a long position, which is what I will personally do, okay, following this plan. Now you can see that this plan goes off the idea that we don't have 2 more lows coming in, but only 1. So this plan could be wrong, just keep this in mind. Instead of getting drop, bounce, retrace, up, we could get drop, bounce, another drop, and then bounce. So just keep this in mind. I'm not going to outline this on the chart. It's just too complicated. I mean, it's not complicated, but it's just not needed. Just not needed. Okay? You open the long. If we get it, you move your stop loss to entry. You take profits. If the low gets taken out one more time, you can look for another long position for the Elliott wave count explain. Guess what? If you take the long, you get the bounce, take profit 1, stop loss to entry, the low doesn't get taken out, then guess what? This plan plays out and you have yourself a very nice long position. Hope that makes sense, guys. I try to keep it as simple as possible. I don't think it gets simpler than that. I really don't. If it's too confusing, let me know, guys. We can quickly recap this, but I think it's simple enough, okay? This is a wave A, which means that you need a 5 wave move down. Doesn't look like 5 waves yet. This looks like the potential wave 4, 1 more wave down and 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bit complicated if you don't understand Elliott waves, but simple enough. In any case, I think the break of $80,000 will be very, very, very interesting to get. And guess what you had at the low, by the way? I hope that's not a surprise. 4-hour imbalance. Guess what you had on this low? A 4-hour imbalance. Guess what you had on this low? 4-hour imbalance. So you can see the imbalances are even in this downtrend. The 4-hour imbalances are pretty much calling every single low. Yeah, pretty simple. Pretty simple, guys, pretty simple. Are we dropping? Still going up? Let's see if this plan gets invalidated now. I really would not like this high to get taken out. That's me. I'm not shorting again, guys. My short is from much higher, so I'm not shorting, but man, if this high gets taken out, that would be very ugly. So yeah, don't take out that high, please. Do not take out that high. If we get an SFP, I guess it would still be fine, but man, I would not like it. I would not like it. Okay, so we can move on to Bitcoin. I think that's enough. We'll do a recap on Bitcoin in the end, actually, instead of doing one now. Ethereum. So Ethereum, we kind of had the same plan as Bitcoin. I expected lower prices. This was my first major support around $2,500. You can see this resistance that we shared 2 lives ago offered a very nice rejection. So if you take this one on Ethereum, of course, very nice short position. One thing on Ethereum is that we have a 4-hour imbalance up there. So that would be a nice conference to expect to drop. Because if Ethereum makes a new low, then of course you would expect Bitcoin to make a new low. So at least on Ethereum, we have 2 4-hour imbalances up here, which is very nice to see. Not much has changed for me on Ethereum. Wickless daily candle as well. That's not a wickless. I mean, I would actually consider this a wickless daily candle. The wick is too small for me to say that. This isn't a wickless daily. So this is a wickless daily candle, same thing as Bitcoin. Probably gets taken out very easily, and we move down into the support, which has been front shown for now. So Ethereum potentially just same thing as Bitcoin, drop into the support and then start putting in a sideways consolidation before potentially coming back down. I will say though on Ethereum, man, if you start breaking these lows, this chart would be so ugly. So ugly. So I don't know, man, on Ethereum. It's not looking great, man. Like, the higher time frame chart is not looking very good. So potential place to buy spot if anyone is interested, but I would be cautious with the stop loss. Okay, so maybe if you start losing 2,300, consider cutting the losses on your spot bags quickly. Or maybe just buy a bit and then see what happens. But yeah, man, Ethereum is not looking very good. I'm surprised that we got this big. I mean, I'm not surprised about the drop. I'm more surprised about the all-time high, which I would have liked to be put in around $5,400. Because now with this retracement, if Bitcoin drops further, which I am really expecting it to, if we drop further on Bitcoin, man, Ethereum is gonna start looking super bad. So I don't know. Be cautious with Ethereum. Be cautious with Ethereum. Even though, remember, in the last, you could call it a bear market, but in April, when you got this low, I was very interested in longs on Ethereum. I had 1,300, this support, and I told you that buying spot would be very good in my opinion because Ethereum would probably outperform Bitcoin, sorry, which I think it did. Pretty sure it did. 250% from the low since April. Yeah, I mean, that's a massive outperformance on Ethereum. But now it's a bit different because the chart just looks so bad. So just be cautious on Ethereum. I'm not gonna talk about this one too much longer. You have a support down there, you have a wickless daily candle, you have a 4-hour imbalance. So on the lower time frame, I could see the same plan as Bitcoin, drop into the support, bounce for consolidation, and then come back down just like Bitcoin will. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, this one, look at these imbalances offering the freaking support. Look at this one. Fail the imbalance, you go up. You fail the imbalance, you go up. I mean, if you guys are still not trading imbalances, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys want me to cover any other altcoins? Solana probably looks bad as well. Yeah, man, this doesn't look good. We took out this low, which was such a nice low. Why did you have to take out this low? You really didn't. But at least for the lower time frame traders, guess what? You have two daily imbalances down there. A liquidity grab. So Solana for any lower time frame traders, yes, it could be ready for a bounce. But again, on the hard time frames, man, these coins are starting to look very bad. Probably this flow is going to be next. Do you guys want me to cover any altcoins? When will you start a DGen account? Brother, I really don't like trading altcoins. Like, it's not even fun for me. Maybe one day, but it's not on my to-do list to start a DGen account. I'm very happy trading Bitcoin and just making consistent profits. I mean, guys, I hate showing the same trades over and over again, but you can make so much money just focusing on good trades on Bitcoin. I made so much money. And look, I caught this one, but remember, I missed this one, which I did share on the Discord to the dollar. If anyone is new and you don't believe me, well, I can show you. One more. Where is it? Oh, you guys. Yep. So that was at the all-time high. Wait, was that? What? Where was it? No, one more low. Did I say one with the number one? Yeah, right there. Look, that was the all-time high, guys. I was looking for short. That was the Sunday plan. You can see it right there, shared on Sunday. Offer a bounce, take out the all-time high, dropped $119,000. And if we lose that support level, I did make a YouTube update on Friday before the crash. I told you guys that if we lost the support level, we would expect much lower prices. I was looking for the short at 126 to the dollar. We called it. We had the first SFP. I was not home to send the chart, but then I got back home. We made another high as expected, $126,000. As you can see, the absolute all-time high. But me being me, I decided not to short, which was of course a big mistake in hindsight. But look, you can catch very easy trades on Bitcoin and make massive profits. That's why when a lot of people always talk about altcoins, I mean, I guess I'll digress. I digress. Pet and Tau, okay, we'll do this, Aave and INJ. So let me hide this for now. We'll do combination. So local plus high time frame Sunday plan. The local is going to be the drop. The high time frame is going to be the bounce to $99,000. What is this? Yep, that was last Sunday's prediction, which we talked about in the recap at the start. So we can remove this. If you missed the recap, go and watch it. I don't need to hide this. What is this? That was 102. And I don't need this anymore as well. So that's good enough for me. Okay. Aave INJ, let's see. Aave. Where's Aave? Right there. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, that was before the crash. Wow. I mean, the frick, dude. I don't have a daily imbalance. If you have such a big drop, I would need a daily imbalance to look for a low. Weekly, no weekly imbalance. I don't know. No daily imbalance for me. 12-hour, no 12-hour imbalance. I would still like one more low on Aave. At least one more low. Search for a daily imbalance. So ideally, no, search for a 12-hour imbalance, but ideally you're gonna need a daily imbalance to find a low on Aave. As long as you don't have a daily imbalance, I would not look for a low. As per for the levels, you guys know my view. I mean, it's not even a view, it's just a fact. When you have this massive wick to the downside, it's just gonna be hard for me to give you any levels. Because, I mean, what do you want me to do with that wick? I can't do anything about it. But my view on altcoins right now is that if Bitcoin does indeed continue to drop after the consolidation, if we get it, every single altcoin is going to come back down and fill the wick. No matter how low, no matter how high, if Bitcoin does move lower, which personally I am expecting, every single altcoin will come down and fill the wick. So that's my view on altcoins right now. INJ, still that massive wick to the downside. Man, I don't know, dude. It's just, at least you have a daily imbalance on INJ, but it's a large body, so it's not really a reversal pattern. Remember, if we go back over to Bitcoin on the 4-hour, can see the reversal patterns. You look for small bodies. This is okay. This one is not the smallest body, I will admit, but you had the breakdown and no follow through, so kind of still acceptable. But right there, perfect. You have a small body. When you have a large body, this is not really a sign of a reversal. Let's go back over to INJ. Daily. I mean, this, if you start to go sideways, then of course on the lower time frames, look for the fill of this daily candle. You are going sideways, which is good, But if you can maybe put in one more low, come back up, then yes, very probably you will fill the daily imbalance. And then you can see, let's remove all of this, it's not useful anymore. And then you can see if you break that daily imbalance, then probably look for $6. I mean, these moves are just not interesting. Yeah, probably the $6 will get reached very easily in my opinion. We are going sideways. So ideally, injective, you want to look for one more low. I think it's looking decent. One more low, you come back up, you look for the long to target this, which would offer you a very nice trade of 16%, 15%. That is very, very, very good. Especially even on an altcoin. 15%. At least on altcoins, you look for 8 to 10%. Anything above 8% is very good on altcoins. So break that low, recover it. You can look for the long to target the fill of this first imbalance. You break it, you look for the fill of the second imbalance at $6.7. Okay, so that would be my plan for injective. Actually, not bad. Actually, not bad. But on the higher time frame, still, I would look for the fill of the wick. So down to $2. Not perfect. FET. Someone asked about FET. Is it in my watch list? It's not. FET USDT. Okay, this wick is a bit smaller, which is fine. Which is fine. Let's look at this one. I don't like this imbalance. Probably look for the fill very easily. 0.23. That would be a first target. Weekly, that's fine. 3-day, that's one as well. That's very good. 12-hour, that's one as well. Very good. So let me look at the 3-day actually, because we can take this, and I think, yep, this matches with the order block. So that would be better actually. 3-day imbalance with a 12-hour order block. Let's look at the volume. 5-year yellow. Okay, point of control has offered the first bounce with a 12-hour imbalance at the low. That was decent. That was decent. Yeah, we're probably gonna drop FET. I think it's simple enough to see with all of these lows, they're gonna get taken out very, very easily. So yeah, on FET looks a bit better than the other altcoins. And you have a 1-hour imbalance, so that would be nice. Let's put it right there. That would be your area on FET. From 0.215 to 0.22, just call it 0.22. That would be your support. If you can jump into it, probably wait, of course, wait for the reaction, not probably wait for the reaction, but if you form imbalances on the drop, then you look for the bounce and the fill of these imbalances that were formed on the drop. Does it come back above this high? I don't know. I don't know if this coin is strong enough to do it, but at least on the lower time frame, I could see a bit of a bounce going. Look at this high. I mean, look at this high. Look at this high. To the cent. 4-hour imbalance, you come up to the cent and you got the rejection. So you took that short on this imbalance fill, freaking 22%. That was amazing. Plus, that's a 12-hour open, 12-hour order block. Daily nothing, but you can see 12-hour open order block, 4-hour imbalance. So that was really a very, very, very good short position if you took it, of course. Plus, you had this partially filled that could have been a local target, and then you broke it. So that's kind of a confirmation of the top when you break the highest imbalance. So, I mean, yeah, you can see. I'm not making anything up. That's the only imbalance that was there to fill. You filled it and you came back down. So for now, hopefully you can drop for more imbalances. Look for the bounce to fill them. Tao, I do have this one on my watch list. Where is it? Am I blind? Or is it not on my watch list? Why do I remember having it on my watch list? Okay, maybe it's not. Tau USDT. Support, we had this one. That was after the crash. Yeah, after the crash. We had this support. I mean, I'm not decent bounce, 12%. So I'm not gonna say that was a bad bounce. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, 12% from the support, that's very good. Of course, it didn't fully play out. I'm not gonna claim that it fully played out, but still support for our imbalance. 12% bounce. Now, I mean, I'm gonna keep this for myself for the future. Tau. Hmm. And you took out that liquidity with that wick, which is a bit different than other altcoins. Daily filling. It's gonna be hard to analyze because we have that wick. I don't want to give a bad plan on Tau. Don't want to give a bad one. Volume is definitely good. You have three 12-hour imbalances, so that's very good. But apart from that, probably if you can break this imbalance, so if you can break 327, we could get ready for a nice run on this coin. But you will need to break this one first. To the downside, I don't see anything. I'm sorry. You just have that big wick. You have a decent low. Is it the... Yeah, it's not a bad low. It's really not a bad low. Do we fill this imbalance? I don't know. Maybe. Mark this as a local level. Just remove this. Okay, so local level probably will be this. This imbalance, 283. I don't know, man. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Value area high, so that's gonna be important. Okay, let me look at this. Maybe 2 levels. Yup, that's the order block with the point of control. Okay, so this one is also good. So to the downside, I would say you have 2 levels. My preferred one would be 283, even though it's not that strong. I just would like kind of come down, fill this imbalance, and then reverse to the upside. Come on. To fill this, which is a 12-hour imbalance. So locally, that's what I would look for on Tau. On the higher time frames, again, if you break this 327, you could get ready for a pretty nice run, maybe to $400. As long as you remain below this, look for the fill of the wick. So I'm not gonna waste too much time on this one. Can you take a look at SPX gold and silver? Yes, of course. What did I tell you last week, guys? I sold 50% of every single one of my stocks, and would be funny if I sold the top on stocks. That's all I'm gonna say. I sold Sophie at 29. Where? So 29. I sold it last week at 29. It's now at 25. So that's why so that was a nice exit for now. Robinhood, I sold it at like 140. What was it? Is it 140? Can freaking load. Yeah, so I sold it around 140. It's now at 100. Oh, these were nice exits. And AMD, I sold it a while ago, AMD, but I fully sold it on the all-time high breakout, and now it's back down below the all-time high. So very nice exits on my stocks. Gotta admit this. I told you last week I was selling half of everything. Got rid of PayPal, by the way. This was not a half one. I just completely sold this one. It's just not doing anything. This one was starting to freaking annoy me, so I got completely rid of this. Still looking to add on ELV if I can see something interesting. Healthcare stocks are undervalued, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. But the reason that I'm not buying is because the stock market. Well, I told you look for that low. I told you to look for that low. You can see us mark out 6,500. We are dropping towards that low. So the hard time frames, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, that's why you take profits. Can we bounce, hit $7,000 before dropping, or was this the top? Or maybe we don't even find the top, we continue to the upside. I don't hold this view because I talked about this last stream. Look at Bitcoin and look at the dollar. The dollar is back above 100. If the dollar continues on going up, Bitcoin is going to continue on going down, and the stock market is also going to go down. So my view, I mean, I don't want to say anything stupid. I don't have the strongest view on the stock market. Just look for someone who maybe has more experience. For me, I told you last week I took profits. I've showed you these were very good exits because every single one of my stocks, AMD massive drop, Sophie, not a massive drop, but a pretty big one, and while Robinhood, actually very big drop. I mean, from the high, 33%, even on spot, that's a very big drop. So in my view, I'm going to keep it simple. I have been taking profits, as I told you last stream. It's not a time to buy expensive stocks. It's not a time to buy the stock market, at least in my opinion. $7,000 would still be very nice for a high, but I don't know if you reach it. I do still think it's possible, of course. I do still think it's possible. Now that we will almost take out this low. But I don't know if after taking out this low, will we bounce or maybe just go sideways like Bitcoin and then continue lower. We're not going to get a straight drop. That's something I'm pretty confident in. So I'm not expecting something like this on the stock market. Probably you go down, you go back up sideways, and then from there maybe come back down or hit this area above and then come back down. The stock market is going to take its time up here before dropping, in my opinion. If it is to drop, if it goes higher, I don't freaking care. I couldn't care less. Do you look at open interest? At oil, sorry, oil. I saw oil. Not really, no. It's been a very long time since I've taken a look at oil. It's on my watch list, but I don't remember the last time I took a look at oil. I mean, you can see the last level I had on it was this trend line, but I don't look at oil very often. Doesn't really help me much in my analysis. But if gold is dropping, what does that tell you? At least no inflation, maybe in the near term. I don't know. Again, guys, I'm not an oil analyst, an oil expert, so I'm not interested in saying anything stupid. Please tell me how to buy. Dude, what is this comment? Can someone ban this? Mods? Don't have any mods. So that, will you sell more silver? No, I've already sold silver. I told you, what was that, 2 weeks ago now? I don't think I'm gonna sell more silver. I've sold half. I've sold half, and I'm gonna leave the rest running. There's no point in selling all of your silver up here, in my opinion. Just like gold, if you own gold, I don't, but if you own gold, probably want to look to take some profits up here, but selling all of your gold or silver, I don't think it's a wise decision. I don't think it's a wise decision. But again, guys, if the dollar has bottomed, which it is starting to make a pretty decent recovery, if the dollar has bottomed, gold has also topped out along with Bitcoin and the stock market. Simple enough. Simple enough. You look at the dollar. Is this still pumping? It is. So I guess people are chasing the shorts, maybe? People shorting the weekend, like freaking smart people. Very smart traders. Keep on shorting the weekend. Very smart. Very smart. Okay, so with no, I will not sell more silver, so I did answer this. So with that said, we can do a recap on Bitcoin. If you don't have any more questions, I will recap Bitcoin and altcoins. If you are interested, we will talk about Ethereum very quickly and other altcoins overall. On Bitcoin, if you look at the past, when you look at major lows, whether it's on the lower time frames like this low at $102,000 or on the higher time frames like this major low at $74,000, when price wants to keep going in the same direction, okay, so break this low and keep going down, what you will get first is a fake bounce. The reason for that, I guess I didn't talk about this, the reason for that is because when you start getting close to that low, you have the late shorts. This is why you have this daily imbalance. You have the late shorts and the breakout traders, which are trying to open shorts down here to see a breakdown below this low. So basically, this move to the upside will be mainly fueled by people who were chasing the shorts down here. So the breakout traders. And then on the other hand, of course, you have a lot of people saying that as long as Bitcoin maintains above this low, the bull market is still intact. So what you could do is put in a bounce above that low, trap these people that believe that the bull market is still intact, which is a pretty funny view in my opinion, but hey, who cares? You trap these people that believe that the bull market is still in if you remain above that low, which is the main reason why actually I don't want to see a swing failure pattern. Maintain above that low, trap the bulls on the bounce, and then get a big reversal to the downside, break back below this low. So with that view, okay, offer us a fake bounce. Ideally until the end of the year, okay, so potentially towards the end of December maybe. Go down this week, put in a first low, then you can see, of course, if you have a good reaction to open a long position. I will personally potentially be looking to fully close my short position because as mentioned, if we do get a big bounce, I'm just not interested in staying in that short position. So close the short at the lows, open a long position, look for that consolidation sideways. And then of course, after that, we can see what happens. Does this bounce, if it happens, of course, end up offering a new all-time high? Very unlikely in my opinion, but of course still possible. Or does it play out like this? We get a consolidation sideways and then continue to the downside. That would be it. Ethereum, higher time frame. Be careful on Ethereum. It's not looking the best. We have a big support coming up around $2,500. But then if Bitcoin drops further, Ethereum is going to start to look pretty bad. So keep an eye on this. For the other altcoins, including Solana, even though it doesn't have a wick. So Solana probably expect on the higher time frames a break of $100. And then for every single other altcoins, personally at this point, I think it makes sense to look for the fill of the wick. So back to Bitcoin, lower time frames. This would be my plan for this week. One more low, and then I can look for my long positions. To kind of do a very simple recap on what I'm looking for this week, one more low, and then I look for the long positions. So with that said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for all the chats, for all the questions. I do really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to leave a like. That would be very appreciated. And once again, thank you everyone for being here. I'm very tired. I can't wait to stop and just enjoy the rest of my night. So with that said, once again, thank you everyone, and I wish you all a great rest of the morning, day, or evening, wherever you are in the world. So see you tomorrow morning, everyone.